I have just written another poem about Beeliar. This is perhaps the most satisfying poem I have ever written. It's called The Line for Beeliar, and it is dedicated to Lynn McLaren. The Line for Beeliar. It was that early morning in January, and the line was loud and clear. Come and defend the Beeliar, the wetlands we hold so dear. The Premier had unleashed his dozers on the unsuspecting woody pears. This was more than we could take from him and his arrogant heirs. We gathered in thousands at 6 o'clock on that cool and fresh summer morning, there in the Coolbellup uplands where civil disobedience was dawning. We stood in line beside the fences and listened to the speech and the band. Our blood was boiling hot, and we were there to make our stand. To the stirring words and strumming guitar we responded and moved as one. Our hands stretched out and the fences were down, all to the beating of the drum. We swarmed in and surrounded those big yellow machines. We were in the Earth Movers compound. We looked around at the police in their line, and we sat on that ancient sandy ground. The police were impassive, standing strong as they guarded the machines in the compound. We chatted and clapped and sang in our lines and settled in for our day on the ground. With horses stomping, more police moved in and jostled us around and around. Some of us moved, but many of us didn't. We had come to be heard with loud sound. We had drawn our line and we would not move. We were there to be thoroughly tested. We had such great love for the Beeliar. We were delighted when we were arrested. We stopped the clearing for one whole day, but the destruction continued to grow. The scar of devastation was extending from Malvolio right down to Hope Road. The police lines grew thicker and longer, and we stood by the side of the road as the benches and the woody pears were taken and mulched as we cried. We watched and listened to the trees as they cracked. The bulldozers brought them down with a start. For many dark days we groaned with despair, but we always held hope in our hearts. It was that early morning in March when we voted for the destruction to stop. We stood in line with our precious votes. The government was gone in one straight shot. But without our Beeliar defenders, that road would have gone right ahead by stalling and stalling its way in the courts. We killed it, chert, stone, dead. We won by getting in the way of that road. We shouted and challenged, we raised our hands. We sat in trees and locked onto machines, all to preserve those precious wetlands.